Max, I'm going to hire you to be the host of this radio show, but you can't talk. Is that what Gus Malzahn did? I'm going to hire you as the offensive coordinator, but I'm going to call the plays.
He's an offensive coordinator in training. I mean, or in waiting. He may be waiting for next year. True. I don't know what that's all about. I mean, how'd they let Asa Martin play in 5 games and go redshirting? I mean, come on. That kind of, I'd say, a little disorganization down on the plains right now.
How about this guy that they hired, Kenny Dillingham, 28 years old, from Memphis. He's been the coordinator at Memphis for 1 year. Tell us about what you know about Kenny.
Well, not a whole lot, because I thought, in all fairness, I thought there was another guy up there that running the offense. Will Hall was taken out of Louisiana, I guess Louisiana, not Monroe, but one of those other directional schools down there. 2 years ago, when they changed coaching staffs, I thought he came to Memphis. Will was an All-American at Florence, at North Alabama, and said all kind of. He won the equivalent to the Heisman for Division II, as the Heisman is for Division I. Had all kind of credentials. Had won a championship at Livingston, won a championship at West Georgia. Had all the credentials in the world. Then I read about this, and I thought that's what Will Hall did at Memphis. So I don't know. I don't know a whole lot about him. I read he'd been at Arizona State, coached tight ends, and coached in high school. I think if I didn't read his salary, but if they in there paying him $700,000-800,000 for that position, man, I don't know where this thing's going. To tell you the truth.
Yeah, he's 28. I don't know. Dad?
I think what they're doing is that they're paying him the same amount of money that they paid Lindsey that left.
No way. They're not paying this guy over $1 million. That's $1 million.
Well, let me finish, if you don't mind.
He paid him over $1 million.
They're paying him a good amount of money because it wasn't going to be a whole lot of people who were willing to take it. People that were willing to take it were people who had a little success, and he'd had some. The offensive coordinator at Memphis had gone on to Texas A&M, and he had slid in his place, and to some degree, I guess. And so when he tried to get the Bentley guy from South Carolina, he didn't want to come back over there. So a guy is going to demand some money. Because there's a feeling it might be 1 year, but he's willing to gamble because he's going to a Southeastern Conference school.
Yeah, but
they can't do it. Well, let me finish. They can't do anything but better. So he paid him. He didn't pay him more money than Lindsey, but he paid him maybe slightly less than Lindsey, but he had to pay him.
No, I mean, he was a 2015 grad assistant for Arizona State. The following season, he was a grad assistant in Memphis. In 2017, he was a quarterback and tight end coach. I mean, he was probably making maybe $175 at Memphis.
I was the basketball coach at Carbon Hill, and they offered me a job at Alabama for $75 a month.
My point is, he was probably making $150 at Memphis. You could offered him $400, and he's going to sprint to Auburn. You ain't got to pay that guy $1 million.
I understand all that. I'm just, and I know Coach Malzahn probably had a tough time trying to find somebody. That is probably very true because in 2 years it's a 1 year deal. Again, and I'll be so interested. And of course, the guy probably didn't negotiate that. Some agent, I don't know whether it was Jimmy Sampson or not, but him being in Memphis, I would dare say that was a pretty good chance Jimmy did that. And if he did, hats off to him. I don't know what's going on. I cannot put my finger on how the program is just continues just to roll along, and I don't know. It just seemed like mistake.
I just don't know who in the world, and the Martin kid leave ain't no big deal because he didn't play anyway. But they couldn't count to 5. But the problem is they don't have any. Do they have any players that can play?
No, they don't, Coach. And that's where it all starts. Most of you guys know it's a system that he has employed. Nothing wrong with that. But if you have a system, you've got to recruit to that, and they haven't done that.
Oh.
No big running backs, and they need 3 or 4 running backs, and that's the 6'2", 230 or something like that, because they're going to carry the ball 25 times. in a ball game, and the 185-pounder can't do that in the SEC. So I mean,
how many offensive linemen? They weren't any good, but how many offensive linemen they lose? They even get better. They lost them all.
They lost 4 starters off that team from last year.
On offensive line?
Those 5 starters that started this year, none of them had played together before.
They'll run through there like Epsom salt still with a woman.
Yeah, I'm telling you, and they couldn't. They didn't. I don't want to say they can't play, but I'd say they were inexperienced and couldn't play together, and that was part of Stidham's problem. He kept throwing on the run, and everybody that played against Auburn knew that. So what they do, load the box up and came after.
And they got to open the Oregon.
They should have hired some JUCO guy that had about 6 players with him.
You're right, Barry. That's exactly what they should have done. You want this job, get me 6 running backs. You're exactly right. That's exactly what I'd have done.
Bring me 6. I'll pay you more money than you've ever seen.
$1 million, maybe 6 players. You bring me 5 or 6 players that can run a JUCO guy, and you got the offense coordinator.
Yeah, I'll give you any title you want. I'm going to call the plays, but just bring me some players. Right. That's what they should have done. Max, Alabama fans are mad. They're saying there's fatigue out there, and Tua was this, and Tua handled it with class. I mean, come on. It wasn't like there was that big of a separation between Kyler Murray and Tua. Who cares?
I talked to 3 voters last weekend, and I didn't ask them how they voted, but all 3 held their vote after Saturday. They had till Monday night to get it in. Good. And I didn't ask them how they vote, but in my mind, I said if that was a trend across the country, that Tua's not going to win it because he came out of the ballgame hurt. Murray beat the only team on the schedule that beat them, and he had a heck of a ballgame. And the vote was already extremely close. And what did he do? He jumped ahead by.
Well, they should have had it, Max, after the season.
Well, you're right. I wish they'd had it after the bowl games.
Sure.
Anybody's up for an awards in a bowl, so let's watch them all. And that way, at least it might motivate a guy to get ready for the bowl. What do you think about the quarterback at West Virginia pulling out?
Well, I mean, look, guys, we've already gone through that a little bit. The fact is, we know what the situation is. I'm going to give my if the guy has fulfilled his obligation, if he graduates in December, and the game is not till January, the end of December or in January, he's fulfilled his obligation to the university based on his scholarship. Now, I know we got the team concept and all that, guys, but at that level, getting ready to go to the NFL, it becomes a business. And, it's no different to take a quarterback or anybody else at the NFL level based on their contract if they're able to sit out. Hey, how about all those that chose to sit out, at the beginning of the season, the NFL? I mean, it's a business. It becomes a business at that time. I'll be honest with you. I don't have a problem with that. Now, if he's still got eligibility left, I have a major problem. If he's going to just pull out and go and announce for the draft and not play, that's to me that's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, people say, that'll hurt him with the NFL. The NFL could care less about those guys pulling out. They're going to evaluate him in the combine. If he's good enough, Baker Mayfield was certainly not going to be the number 1 pick coming out, but the combine and all those things, he got himself to that point. So who knows? But we'll see. It
becomes a major business, in a business decision at that time.
Yeah, I don't blame them.
If I had to guess, the coaches understand that. They know that.
Yeah, if the guy's going to go, he's gone anyway. It just gives them a chance to get some experience to the guy who's going to be the quarterback next year. So
next year.
If I was Jalen Hurts, I wouldn't go to Colorado after. They wouldn't be pleased with after back-to-back Heisman Trophy winners.
You can go Colorado?
There's some talk.
Colorado or Oklahoma?
I mean Oklahoma. I'm sorry.
Max, I say the only chance Oklahoma had was for Tua to win the Heisman. When he didn't win it, how good is this Oklahoma offense, and what do they do that's so difficult to defend? And will they run the ball up and down the field on Alabama?
They can't run the foot. I mean, they'll try to run the football. They're geared to throw the football. They got wide receivers. They can run, and they put 4 and 5 in a pattern. It's what they do. And you got to understand, guys, the Pac-12, the Big 12, they don't play much defense out there. I was listening to some guys the other day on the national shows. They said not only can they not tackle, they don't even know where to line up to tackle. And I think that's the whole, look at the scores that they do. To me now, guys, of course I'm not, it's just an observation. But Alabama wins that ball game by bringing the game down short and running the football, because they can run it all day long. They don't have to throw it. And if the crowd start crowding the box, then they play action over. But I'm just saying, Coach Saban has already got that figured out. I can promise you. And all that stuff about Tua and all that, those articles are already plastered all over the dressing room. He'll turn and use that like nobody else in the history of the game's ever done.
Yeah, I know, but it was an overtime game last year. But let's be honest now, Oklahoma put 48 on Georgia.
I know they did. That's what I say. But Georgia tried to, I think that kind of caught Kirby them by surprise that they were a little bit better. And I don't think Alabama would get caught. They know Oklahoma's a good football team. I mean, they lost one, but they came back and redeemed that in the bowl game. So I think it's going to be a good football game. Alabama can't make mistakes, and I think probably, I don't guess they're probably good as Clemson, but I think they're maybe the second or third best team that's in the playoffs right now.
Max, Jeff Collins is going to Georgia Tech, and I know Georgia Tech is Georgia Tech, but this guy works his fanny off recruiting. I don't know if he can steal anybody, but they'll have their hands full with that booger bear because he will.
I got to know when he was over here at Mississippi State. Then he was, with Florida and Temple and his back. So, and he's sitting in a hot area, and he'll go after those kids. Probably go after those seconds that Georgia, doesn't take, or somebody slide in and chooses not to take. He'll recruit Georgia and Florida. And of course, he'll come over to Mississippi and grab. The thing I don't think he's going to be able to do academically is go after junior college players. He may pick one or two up to rebound. And he's going to change the offense. He ain't going to run that double wing that Paul Johnson's been running for 15 years.
Well, McIntyre being a new defensive coordinator at Ole Miss, is that going to make him? Going to make them? Are they getting any players? I guess is the question.
No, that's a key. I just looked at the roster. I mean, the recruiting list this morning. Their top 10 players, they got one defensive guy committed. One,
oh my heaven!
The top 10.
Oh, good grief!
I'm just telling you, it's a lopsided. Hey, look, that McIntyre wasn't their first choice. They went after two or three, including one or two guys at Alabama. And the guys understand where the program is, and they don't have any players. And I mean, everybody in the country understands where that program is right now. I mean, they still got 3 or 4 years before they can ever even get back to be. I think that at best another 6-6, maybe 5-7. A fortunate team next year would be 7-5.
Well, tell us about State. What's happening? I had a guy come to me the other day and tell me that everybody was mad at the State coach. They couldn't stand him and all that stuff. What about that?
Well, of course, I have a couple of writers on Live and Starkville and talk to them every week. And they said about 75% of their recruiting class is going to be signed on the 19th of December. They've got 2 quarterbacks coming in. They got one still on the roster, but they lost 20 players. Guys off that roster from this past year. They did play a lot of guys on the defensive front. The secondary is going to be a little bit better probably than it was on talent. And, it remains to be seen. They lost 4 ball games this year. The first 2, Coach Moorhead was trying to implement his system he brought from Penn State. Excuse me. In all fairness, it was a little more sophisticated than these kids have been used to as far as the mental part of it. So he brought the playbook back down. Of course, Fitzgerald's gone, so the Thompson kid that's left, he's been okay, but not great. They think they got one. They got a kid from Texas, a quarterback from Texas, and one from North Carolina, I believe, coming in. And so I wouldn't be surprised to see them probably at a 7-8 win next year, but I look for the probably start a freshman quarterback.
Max, did you call those guys over there at LSU and tell them they better be ready to play Central Florida?
Well, I do need to. I talk to Pete Jenkins about it. Let him call them.
Please.
The fact is they got a couple of secondary kids that aren't going to play. They've already committed to the draft, and they've already taken agents. So, the only hope they got, in my opinion, just based on what I saw, they want to turn and run the football and keep that offense off on the sideline.
Watch my Knights. Yeah.
Pardon me?
Yeah. You better watch my Knights. The Knights. I'm a Knight fan. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they got to win that one to win the championship again. That's all they say. So, Well, it's going to be interesting. LSU really needs that. They're 8-point favorite in that game. Whether they can, whether they can step up and win or not, I don't know. We'll get a lot of people will be watching that ball game. I promise you on TV.
Well, Alabama's flipping recruits left and right. Max, they just flipped a 5-star from Michigan.
I saw that.
So be careful.
Well, look, right now it's going to be Alabama, Texas A&M, and Georgia in the top 3 in the country. And of course, I've looked at Ole Miss and Mississippi State guys, and they're in the top 20 in the nation recruiting, but they're in the bottom half of the SEC when it comes to evaluating those recruiting classes. So I don't know. It's an interesting time of the year. Not only
Max, excuse me. The football coaches are not really ever. You tell me if I'm wrong, or Barry can chime in. Football coaches are not really sure. Even Coach Bryant are not really sure how to get ready for bowl games.
Yeah.
You look at your bowl records. Coach Bryant's wasn't very good. Nick's lost some. It's a little bit difficult to really know how to handle your team for bowl games.
It is, because let me tell you what the trend has been, though, really, is that the wins are important, with a lot of teams. Some teams it's not. And the fact is you got 3 weeks. You spend the first week, a week and a half, working on your young kids that's already on the roster. Spend there. Right. It's like a first spring training. You're trying to call that out. You try to get them ready, maybe get them a few snaps in the bowl game. Then that last week you put your game plan in. By the end the kids ought to be back in condition. And, and they go, normally they'll come with just a basic plan, basic offense, basic defense, some stunts off the defensive side. But I don't think today, now when you got the playoff for those top 4 teams, it is different. But everybody else, it is narrowed down to just that fan base. In the big bowls are still going to get the TV audience. But the fact is it's about the fan base and the program. And you get your check and you go home. You get your off-season program going. You get ready for spring training again. I mean, to me, that's what the whole thing's all about. Except that's why I am kind of in favor of maybe expanding it to 6, or maybe 6, or no more than 8 down the road. It includes a lot more programs that really will pay attention to that. But all these people talk about there's too many bowls, 43 bowls this year. And I don't have a problem with that. If I don't want to watch them, I don't watch them. I watch a movie or something. But the fact is, those kids, the school will get a check, the kids get to practice for the coaches take for next year, and they get a trip out of it. So, I think it's, I don't have a problem with the system set up. The only thing I would like to see maybe expand the top 4, 6, or 8 to a playoff.
Okay. Appreciate it, Max. Great stuff. We'll talk to you
Thanks,
Friday.
Max. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. We'll talk to you Friday. Thank you.